Greystone was a city where death pooled in every gutter. The air reeked of decay, and the physicians blamed it on miasma, a foul vapor. In a crowded birthing room, midwife Mira delivered a stillborn child. The mother hemorrhaged onto the straw, her last word, the miasma.
Where am I? I died in that lab accident, but now I am in another body, a stranger's, with memories of a washerwoman's life.
Peering through the cracked window, he saw the plague's true face. People washing themselves in contaminated water, surgeons with unwashed hands.
Germs. They call it miasma, but it's invisible creatures on their hands. Soap and clean water could save them, if I can make it.
That night, in secret, he gathered wood ash and rendered animal fat. His mother's laundry fire became his laboratory.
The lye burned my hands, but this paste will save lives. Soap, the simplest weapon against the plague.
Sho, what are you doing? That smell. You've been talking about demons. They'll call you a heretic.
I am not afraid, Mother. If washing hands can save lives, I'll teach them even if I have to do it in secret.
2 days later, Sho crept to the Midwives' Guild. He found Mira scrubbing her hands in well water, the same water that carried death.
Mira, I can save the mothers. Not with prayer, but with soap. Let me wash your hands before the next birth.
She held out her hands, and Sho scrubbed them with the coarse soap, the first clean hands in a century of midwifery.
You speak of invisible demons, a washerwoman's son. Why should I trust you over the physicians?
That night, a laboring woman called. Mira delivered the child with hands that had touched no filth. The mother lived.
In all my years, I've never seen a mother survive such bleeding. What sorcery is this?
It's not sorcery, Mira. It's simply cleaning away the invisible creatures. Wash before every birth, and the deaths will stop.
I'll do it. I'll wash. But the others, they will not take kindly to your demons.
Within a week, Mira's practice saw no maternal deaths. The other midwives whispered of dark arts, but the mothers began to demand the soap. Sho knew he had won a single battle. But outside the Midwives' Guild, the city still drowned in filth, and the physicians still blamed the wind. A week later, the rumor of Mira's miracle births reached the blood-stained chambers of Gideon, the city's most renowned surgeon.
I've heard you save mothers with a paste. Can your demon washing stop the rot after a man loses a limb?
It can, sir. Let me scrub your hands and instruments. Clean steel doesn't carry the creatures that cause the rot.
Gideon extended his gnarled hands. Sho lathered them mercilessly, then washed every instrument with boiling water. The amputation was brutal, but the wound healed clean. The patient, a dock worker, was walking within a fortnight.
I've lost 20 men to the rot this year. This one lives with a stump, but alive. You've made me a heretic, boy.
Not a heretic, sir. A man who trusts his eyes over old books. Wash your hands and you'll save dozens more.
The physicians will call this witchcraft. They'll come for you, Sho, and for anyone who follows your method.
Then I'll have to prove it beyond their doubt before they silence me. The city needs wash stations, not just a few hands.
That night, Sho drew plans for public basins at every square. But he knew the real battle would be against men, not germs. At dawn, Sho gathered planks and pitched iron nails to the blacksmith. By midday, the first wash station stood in Baker's Square, a humble basin with a soap bar.
Step forward. Wash your hands and the plague may spare your family. It costs nothing to try.
The crowd hesitated. An old baker muttered about miasma, but a young mother thrust her hands into the basin.
Look, the filth washes away. Invisible demons, not your prayers, cause the fevers.
One by one, the desperate lined up. The water turned gray, but their hands emerged clean for the first time in memory. 3 days later, the fever ward reported a drop in new cases. Mira confirmed no maternal deaths in the quarter since the wash stations opened.
The neighbors are saying you have a holy touch, Sho. But the merchants in the high ward sneer at you.
The sneers won't kill them. Filth will. I'll build more stations in the low wards first.
A week later, a dock worker named Fen lifted his son, alive after a fever. He knelt at Show's feet, sobbing. Show's name spread through alleys like a cleansing wind. But far away, in the marble halls of the Physicians' College, a different wind was gathering. 1 month after the first wash station, the death tally halved. The city had not seen such numbers in living memory. Commoners lifted Show onto their shoulders in the market square. His name became a chant, a prayer against the plague.
This is just the beginning, but the real fight hasn't started yet.
But in the shadowed marble halls of the Physicians' College, the mood was not celebration.
This washerwoman's whelp has infected the people with heresy, invisible demons, an insult to God and our learned art.
The physicians murmured. Their fees for plague treatments were evaporating. The poor now sought soap, not their herbs.
If this spreads, our authority crumbles. We must act before the council crowns him a saint. I will petition the council. We'll brand him a heretic, a corrupter of public faith. We will drown his soap in holy writ. The gods do not work through lie and fat.
Show celebrated with the people, unaware of the storm being drafted in a room of bitter ink and furrowed brows.
People of Greystone, you are deceived. This washerwoman's brat spreads lies of invisible demons.
Primus descended with a retinue of robed physicians, their shadows cutting through the cheering crowd.
Where is your proof, boy? Show us these demons you claim to see in water.
I will show you. The truth is not in old books, but in a single drop of water. If we magnify it.
Magnify? You dabble in magician's glass? The council will hear of your heresy.
The crowd split. Some jeered at the physicians. Others clutched their children, afraid of blasphemy.
He's using the gods against me. I need undeniable proof, something the naked eye can't deny. Listen, all of you. I will find a lens maker and make the invisible visible. Then you will choose.
Go, chase your glass fantasies. We will convene the council to end this madness.
Show stood alone, the soap at his feet, a single thought burning. He needed a microscope, and fast. That evening, Show crossed the artisan quarter to a shop marked by a brass lens. Inside, Alara, the lens maker, looked up from her grinding wheel.
The soap heretic in my shop. You want a magnifier to see your demons?
Not one lens, a set of them. Together they can magnify 100-fold. The invisible becomes visible.
And if I grind these lenses, what will you show me? Tiny monsters swimming in sewage?
Exactly. Creatures that cause the plague, too small to see alone. They live in every drop of foul water.
Alara set down her calipers. Her curiosity, long dulled by crafting spectacles, suddenly ignited.
If such a world exists, I want to see it. I'll grind the lenses, but it must fit on my bench.
We'll build a tube with 2 lenses. I'll adjust the focus. Give me 3 days.
Through the night, Alara ground glass while Show hammered brass. The first compound microscope in Greystone took shape, but outside, Primus had already petitioned the council. The decree to ban Show's methods would be read at week's end. 3 days later, the brass microscope gleamed under candlelight. Show uncorked a vial of river water, thick with unseen life.
Put your eye to the lens, Alara. See the real enemy of this city.
She hesitated, then leaned in. Her fingers turned the brass knob. The world blurred and sharpened.
I see dots, then. They're moving. The water is alive.
The magnified drop teemed with rod-shaped creatures, spiraling and colliding in a frantic dance of survival.
This can't be. In every drop, every wound, we've been bathing in monsters.
Not monsters, but life germs. Soap dissolves their fat membranes. Wash them away, and you wash away the plague.
Then those physicians are blind. We must take this to the council. Now.
At last, a witness. But Primus will move soon. I must be faster.
Across the city, in the marble hall, a quill scratched parchment. The edict that could end it all was near completion. The next morning, Show and Alara carried the brass microscope into the council chamber, past whispering physicians.
Councilmen, you asked for proof. Look into this lens and see the demons that cause the plague.
Enough theatrics. If this is a trick, you'll face the pyre.
Aldrich bent to the eyepiece. The room held its breath as he adjusted focus.
By the gods, the water is swarming with living things.
It's a magician's illusion. He's tainted the glass with potions.
Try it yourself, Primus. Look, then deny what your own eyes see.
Primus refused, but another councilman peered in and crossed himself.
We will deliberate, but the people's health cannot be ignored.
Primus stormed out, vowing to crush the heresy, but the seed of doubt had been planted.
500 gold marks. Sign the edict to ban the soap heretic. By week's end, he is silenced.
That night, a quill scratched parchment. The edict of prohibition bore the city's wax seal. At dawn, guards seized Baker Square. Boots crushed soap bars, halberds smashed basins.
Stop. These stations have saved lives. By whose order?
A captain shoved a parchment at Sho. The edict read, "Demon washing forbidden."
Primus bought this ban, but I'll find a way to prove it beyond any decree.
Commoners gathered, wailing, but halberds pushed them back. Their clean hands clenched in the dust. Sho stood in the wreckage. Splinters and soap dust covered the stones.
This isn't over. I'll make the proof undeniable. Even if I have to stage a trial, no one can ignore.
By evening, every public basin was gone. The plague would surge again. Sho had days to find a new weapon. 3 days later, the fever ward overflowed again. Sho sat against a damp wall, staring at his crushed soap.
You can't win by shouting louder, boy. You need a demonstration so big, even the stones can see it.
He's right. I've watched too many mothers die without soap. Let me help with a real trial.
A controlled experiment. 2 wards, 1 filthy, 1 clean. Let the numbers speak.
All night, Sho scratched out a plan. 2 halls, stringent hygiene in one, miasma in the other.
This will silence Primus forever. If the council lets me do it.
They'll be watching. One wrong move and you are in the pyre, but I'll stand with you.
I'll wash every hand in my ward. The mothers will be my proof.
Then I'll take this to Aldrich. He values truth over politics.
With the plan rolled tight in his fist, Sho stepped into the street, the first move in a gamble that could end him, or end the plague. Sho found Aldrich in the council chamber. The ban edict spread on the table. Primus stood nearby with a coiled smile.
I propose a trial. 2 identical wards, 1 washed, 1 not. Let the death toll decide who is right.
This is an affront to the college. You would give this washer boy another stage for his circus tricks.
You fear the truth. Let the people see which ward buries fewer dead.
Very well, Sho. You will have your trial. But if you fail, you face the stocks.
I accept. The truth will speak.
By midday, 2 halls were emptied. Sho scrubbed every surface in the clean ward while Mira prepared fresh linens.
This must be flawless. Every bed, every basin. The smallest lapse, and Primus will exploit it.
Observers from the council and college took positions. Gideon stood at the door, arms crossed. As the doors sealed, the first controlled experiment in Greystone's history began. The first day, nurses in the clean ward washed hands before every touch. In the other, physicians shrugged and blamed foul air. Sho hung a tally board outside the wards. By evening, the clean ward marked 0 deaths. The filthy ward, 3.
Clean ward, 2 deaths. The other, 8 in 3 days. The difference is already a canyon.
Even my worst patient in the clean ward is healing without rot. I've never seen the like.
4-fold difference. But the physicians will call it luck unless I prove it's not chance.
By day 5, the filthy ward counted 17 dead. The clean ward, 4. Observers from the college muttered of rigged selections.
They claim I chose the healthiest. We need patient records, age, sickness duration, all public.
The mothers here were as sick as any. If we show the records, they can't deny it.
Sho pinned the patient records beside the tally. But Primus's men circled the wards, taking notes, waiting for a single slip. The experiment stood on a knife's edge. One misstep, and the ban would be permanent. By the 10th day, the tally board screamed a verdict. 53 dead in the miasma ward, 14 in the clean.
He chose the strong for his ward. The sickest were sent to the miasma side. This trial is a farce.
Then examine the patient logs. Primus. The ages, the onset dates, identical. Or are you afraid to look?
Enough. We will hold a public hearing. Bring your charts and your records. The council will decide.
The physicians flooded the council with petitions to end the trial before its natural conclusion, calling it a theater of heresy.
They know the numbers are damning. Another week, and the truth will be irrefutable.
Sho begged for 3 more days. Gideon and Mira stood at his back, their testimonies ready.
3 more days, then a hearing. But this charade ends one way or another.
3 days will not change the truth. The gods will smite your glass tricks.
The doors stayed sealed. Each night, the tally board screamed silence. 3 days later, the council chamber swelled with bodies. Citizens pushed at the doors, desperate to witness.
Behold the toll. 53, dead in the miasma ward. 14 in the clean. A 4-fold difference.
Primus sneered, but Aldrich motioned for quiet.
The patient logs are public. Age, sex, sickness, duration, identical. Only soap separates the living from the dead.
Ilara wheeled the brass microscope to the center. She placed a drop of foul water on the stage. Aldrich bent to the eyepiece. The chamber held its breath. Minutes stretched.
I see them, writhing. Creatures by the hundreds. The water is alive with plague.
This is sorcery. He has bewitched the glass. The sample is feigned.
Aldrich's gavel crashed down. The council sat in stunned silence. The decision hung in the air, heavy and unavoidable.
Councilmen, raise your hands. Who stands with the evidence? Who declares the hygiene protocol law?
Hands rose slowly, then all at once. Aldrich counted. 15 in favor, 3 against.
Let it be known, from this day, cleanliness is law. The ban is repealed. Sho's methods are mandated.
You have betrayed sacred knowledge. This heresy will drown us all.
Primus stormed from the chamber, his dark robe snapping like a wounded wing. The physicians followed in silence.
We did it. The truth won. But this is just the beginning.
Sho, you will oversee new stations, training for healers. Your work begins now.
I accept. We'll build a city where no child dies from dirty hands.
The news spread like a cleansing fire. In the streets, people wept and embraced, but Sho knew the real labor lay ahead, to change every habit, every belief, one wash at a time. 3 days later, Aldrich summoned Sho to the council chamber. The room was empty, save for a scribe in a bronze medallion.
Sho, you brought a truth that saved thousands. The council names you genius, protector of the city's health.
The medallion was heavy, etched with a single word: genius.
This charter binds the new law. It bears your name, Sho, and this seal.
He pressed the city's seal into molten wax, then stamped the word genius beside it.
I am no genius, Aldrich. I just remembered what people forgot. Filth spreads death.
Then teach them to remember. Your wash stations will be law.
When Sho stepped outside, the crowd roared. They lifted him onto their shoulders, chanting genius.
This victory isn't mine. It belongs to everyone who washed their hands. Now the real work begins.
The age of the genius had begun. Every basin, every bar of soap, a monument to the war against ignorance. Within weeks, stone basins replaced wood. New sewers channeled filth from the streets. The city breathed.
The plague ward is half empty, Sho. Women survive childbirth, and my patients heal without rot.
Look at her, strong, pink, and her mother is laughing. This is what we fought for.
Now, children, look through the lens. Those dots are the creatures soap washes away.
Primus was last seen at the old college gate, stripped of his physician's robe. The plaque now read School of Hygiene.
I was wrong. The demons were real.
He disappeared into the clean streets, a relic of the old age. The city had no more use for him.
The death rate is a quarter of what it was. But we must keep teaching. Old habits die hard.
The mothers will teach their children. Soap is now a gift at birth.
Greystone had turned a corner. The plague was in retreat. and the age of the genius had truly begun. A month later, dust-covered messengers galloped through the gates, their scrolls bearing the seals of 3 distant lords.
Show, your charter is requested by 3 lords already. They've heard of our miracle and want your methods.
Send them soap and the truth, a copy of the charter, plans for the microscope, and our tally records.
Scribes labored through the night, copying every page by candlelight. Crates of soap bars were nailed shut for the road. At dawn, a train of wagons rolled toward the city gates, each carrying a piece of the genius's revolution. Show unrolled a map of the kingdom. With a charcoal stick, he circled the cities that had asked for help.
If this spreads to every corner, the plague will have nowhere to hide. You are building an empire of clean hands.
It's not enough to send soap. They need to understand why. I'll write a treatise on germ theory.
In his small room, Sho began the first manuscript on microbiology, words that would one day change medicine forever. The revolution was no longer confined to Greystone. The genius's message had taken wing. In the quiet of evening, Sho returned to his mother's washroom. The scent of lye and lavender hung in the air.
I kept it. The very first bar. I thought you'd gone mad.
That ugly little bar started a war against ignorance. And we won.
You were never afraid, even when they called you a heretic. A washerwoman's son who changed the world.
I was afraid, but I couldn't let fear kill more people. You taught me that, Mother.
She placed the old bar on a small shelf, beside the bronze genius medallion, her simple treasure next to his great honor.
To think it all came from a washerwoman's kitchen.
We washed away death, Mother. One pair of hands at a time.
She pulled him close, and for a long moment, the genius of Greystone was just a son in his mother's arms. The war was won, not with swords, but with soap, water, and a truth too stubborn to stay hidden. A week later, Sho paused at the door of Elara's shop. Inside, a dozen children pressed around the brass microscope.
Now, who can tell me why we wash our hands?
Look at them. Not a single one afraid of the unknown. This is the real victory.
Show, come and see. They already argue about which germ moves the fastest.
When I first looked, I didn't have a microscope. I am glad they do.
They'll never fear the unknown again. They'll wash, and they'll know why.
The age of the genius won't end with me. It's in their hands now.
A young girl pressed her eye to the lens, then turned to Sho with a gap-toothed smile.
What did you see?
The girl pointed at a dot on the slide. Tiny wrigglers, she said. But we have soap. Evening fell, and Sho left Elara's shop, the children's laughter fading into the quiet streets. He climbed the newly built stone bridge. The city spread before him, washed in twilight gold.
No more funerals for mothers. No more children lost to a dirty handshake.
He leaned on the rail, breathing the clean air. For a moment, the weight of the past months lifted.
I died in another world, but here, I finally lived.
A single tear traced his cheek, catching the first light of dawn. The city was quiet, the plague a memory. Wash stations lined the squares like monuments. Sho turned his gaze to the horizon, where the sun spread its promise over the new Greystone.
The fight will continue, but today, we have won. Tomorrow, all of us will wash.
The age of the genius had begun.